Williams team principal James Vowles said that the team isn't wedded to Mercedes engines for 2026 when the new engine regs come into play. And it got me wondering, will Williams continue with Mercedes power units from 2026 onwards, or will they change to a different engine supplier? As we all can, Formula 1 has 4 different engine suppliers and it's due to rise to 5 in 2026 when Audi come into the game. But right now it is Ferrari, Mercedes, Honda and Renault. Renault just supplied themselves Alpine, well it's basically themselves. Honda or Red Bull powertrains or whatever you want to call them supply Red Bull and AlphaTauri. Ferrari supply themselves Haas and Sauber, while Mercedes supply themselves Aston Martin, McLaren and the aforementioned Williams team. Williams made the switch to Mercedes in 2014 when the turbo hybrid era began, but before that they've used a whole host of different engines. Ford Cosworth from 1977 to the penultimate race of 1983, Honda from the last race of 1983 to 1987, Judd in 1988, Renault from 1989 to 1997, Mechachrome in 1998, Supertech in 1999, BMW from 2000 to 2005, Cosworth in 2006, Toyota from 2007 to 2009, a return to Cosworth in 2010 and 2011, finally a return to Renault in 2012 and 2013, before they partnered with Mercedes. Now there is a chance Williams could make yet another return to the French engine supplier Renault in 2026, as Renault are reportedly known to be looking for customers to supply engines to, which makes sense since they only supply Alpine, which as I said is basically just themselves. There is also Honda that could make a return to supplying the British team engines, as their time with Red Bull and AlphaTauri comes to an end at the end of 2025, and Honda are of course interested in continuing to participate in Formula 1 in 2026. If Williams are looking to part ways with Mercedes, then that could be the golden ticket for Honda to jump in if they feel like it would be worth their time, and if Williams feel like it would be worth their time. And by worth their time, I mean if Honda see good signs of improvements into the midfield from Williams, and if Williams don't see a repeat of the McLaren-Honda situation happening. We do also have Ferrari, who will lose Sauber at the end of 2025 as they become Audi in 2026 with Audi engines. And I tell you what, Williams being powered by Ferrari, that'd be something else. 2 of the greats of Formula 1s in an engine partnership. Could you imagine it? Personally, I cannot. I do not see Williams going the route of Ferrari, and to be honest, nor do I see Ferrari offering. But hey, stranger things have happened. What do I think Williams will do? Well, I could completely see them parting ways with Mercedes, and as pointed out here in this article from motorsport.com, Mercedes could have to part ways with one of the teams it supplies engines to come 2026, because in the new regs, the manufacturer is only allowed to supply 3 teams, including themselves. And including themselves, they have 4 currently. I mean, McLaren could also part ways with Mercedes, and all I'll say is Zach Brown was the other month seen visiting Red Bull for a chat, so take that for what you will, but we're not talking about McLaren here. So if Williams do part ways with Mercedes, which they absolutely could, who do I think is most likely for them to turn to for an engine? Well, personally, I'd place my bets on Renault. With Renault, as I said, reportedly looking for customers, it would make sense. And when you look at Williams' history, their most successful periods have been when they were powered by Renault engines. Or the first 2 years of the turbo hybrid era when Mercedes had a big advantage over everything else, but Mercedes aside. And Williams' last win? It came when they were powered by a Renault engine back in 2012. Could a return to the Renault power unit usher in some much needed improvements for Williams in terms of performances? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see if Renault is who supplies them come 2026. As alluded to at the start of the video, James Vowles has commented, and this is what he had to say on the matter in the aforementioned article from motorsport.com. I think that's an ongoing discussion, but no, we're not locked into Mercedes, and we're still in the process of reviewing, but we have to, as all teams will have to as well, come to a decision fairly shortly. I think the end of the year will be too late, so a little before then. As you would imagine, it would be foolish to simply just go with where I'm comfortable and what I know. If you're going to get your house painted, you get 3 quotes. I would highly recommend you do that if you don't. And it's the same here. I want to make sure I understand what's available to us. You know, I've never had to get a quote from anyone to get my house painted, mainly because either I'll do it myself, or more commonly my brother will do it when he's here. But I'll keep that in mind. But as ever, what do you think? Do you think Williams will part ways with Mercedes come 2026? And if they do, who supplies them? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Drop a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new to keep up to date with all my Formula 1 content, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.